Hi. Once again, we are before you, and we want to share what has happened during the last week in the global area concerning about politic developments. Now, first, we would like to start with Syria. U.S. administration officials have declared that they are going to keep not 200 but 400 soldiers in Syria. Some of them will be located in the Iraq and Jordan border along, and some of them will be in the northeast area. The exact definition of spot has not been given by officials for that northeast area, but we are considering that it is for to keep their interest and cooperation with the PKK and YPG in order to keep Turkey intervening and damaging US interests in the area. Now, why this number has been decided, there are a couple of interests that US has been following. One of them is now it's more or less clear that US is going to cooperate with other nations such as England and France in the area. Now, including the coalition soldiers, the number will be top up again between 1,000 and 1,500, which is around the same what US has today, is around 2,000. So potentially it means that still the coalition is not losing any soldiers and the effect will remain as it is. And the second one is that it will keep Turkey out of the area. At least Turkey will consider any coalition between Turkish soldiers if there will be any intervention in the land and the coalition soldiers. That will keep Turkey a little bit concerned. And the third one is there might be a safe zone for a creation of a safe zone for the coalition that the US has been following with PKK and YPG in order to create a safe zone and to keep them safe over there without any intervention from Turkey. It means that there might be some kind of, I would say, standoff between two countries, Turkey and US. I believe President Trump son-in-law was here in Turkey last week. They want to talk about this with President Erdogan, but after that, after the meeting, President Erdogan said that we will not collapse and we will not bow before any power. We understand that he didn't like what US has proposed to Turkey, and that's why our conclusion is there is a risk that Turkey and US might come across in northern Syria in future if Turkey decides to intervene again in which we think it might happen within a couple of weeks. The second is Omar al-Bashir. He has decided last night, that he will give up the party leader position, meaning that the elections will take place in 2020. Now he is trying to remodify the constitution in order to let him to run another term. But that will maybe not happen because now it's going to intensify the leadership within the coalition or opposition parties. So Sudan is important because Iran and the Gulf states have also interest over there, which means that now Iran and the Gulf, or the Arabs and the Iran will come across in Sudan, and we are going to keep a close eye on Sudan. There might be some instability shortly, great instability shortly in Sudan. Saudi Arabia and China, so what's going on with them? Now, Saudi Arabia, the future king and today's crown prince Mohammed bin Salman had met already with Chinese leader, President Xi Jinping in Beijing, and Saudi Arabia has finalized an agreement with two Chinese companies to build a 10 billion refining and petrochemical facilities in Liaoning province. Now, what does it mean? Saudi Arabia has definitely keep an interest in selling oil and oil products to China. They are, with these new refineries, they will now have the capability to process 300,000 barrels per day. of products, which is great in numbers. So we think that they are going to get more in close by, let's say. But one of the announcements that Saudi prince has done is not in line with Turkey's expectation, which he said China has the right to defend the widespread use of internment camps for ethnic Uyghur Muslims or Uyghur Turks. Now, this is not the interest of Turkey, and this is going to now create a problem between Turkey and Saudi Arabia, and in future, that's definitely going to happen. Now, this announcement has clearly in favor of Chinese, and it's going to clearly now split the Muslims and the Turks in the area. So Saudi's Aramco, or Saudi's prince idea is that he follows the idea that these people might be Muslims, but it's not Muslims, they are terrorists. So since they are ethnically Turkey is going to definitely has a negative impact, and this is going to create some problem between Turkey and Saudi Arabia in future. Now the other event is about Algeria. The protest rally against the existing president Bouteflika, and he's trying to run for the 5th time as a president, but due to the economic circumstances, people are against this. Although he has the support from the coalition and all the other parties, it might be very hard for him to follow this. So the elections will take place on the 18th of April, but we will keep an eye closely on this, but we are expecting more and more resilience from the people against the president. Bouteflika, and we will see what will happen. We will report for you. Now, you remember that I had mentioned about Spanish electric facility in Morelos State, Mexico. And as we have mentioned that President López Obrador has the intention to apply a vote either to run the facility or not, which costs already $680 million. And the vote has done. It has been accepted by the people with the majority, 59.5%. And now the investment will take place and it will be operated. But this is a sign that how a president will be against all the new investments in future. It will discourage all the investors to come and invest in Mexico, which we are going to see the effects then shortly, and we are going to close the monitor because Mexico is a very important country in the South America. Italy. Now, Italy is very important in Europe zone, especially due to the high and big economy. But you remember that European Community or Commission has not approved the budget, Italian budget, before the end of 2018. I think January 2019 they had approved their budget, but now they had criticized the budget deficit and the debts of Italian, although they have already approved their budget. Now that shows that Italian economy is in a maybe in already a big problem or is going to that way, and this is not a good sign to Italy and also to Europe zone, especially when German economy is also slowing down in terms of growth. These signals are also will impact the global economy. We are going to close the monitor for you. Now in Iran, Turkey, the foreign minister Zarif's resignation was talked during the last week. We don't know why he has resigned already, or resigned, and then President Rouhani has rejected. Now he is still in power in the office, but we are thinking that this might occur due to the the left and the right wings of the Iranian politics, where Zarif stands by having a kind of agreement with the US in order to improve and develop the economy. But we saw the hawkish approach. They want Zarif resignation now, so they can develop much more hawkish approach within the region and to against the US. We will monitor this event for you closely. But we are expecting at this moment, we think there's a disability in the politics of Iran, especially foreign policy, and we will monitor closely for you. The UK Parliament supports Prime Minister's May Brexit strategy. Now, he was telling that early, if Parliament is going to reject any kind of Brexit deal, they are going to make a vote leaving the bloc without a deal maybe in future. But most likely now they are going to ask more time from the European Union in order to bring a roadmap to European Commission. Now this has been backed by Chancellor Angela Merkel, whose this is going to be last term, and this year is going to be last year for her, most likely. She has already announced that she is not going to run for the office anymore, and she is okay with that. It should be given an additional time to London in order to bring a roadmap for that matter. She demands a roadmap. Now, after Brexit has been approved by the people and the Parliament, since it has been around 1.5 years, 2 years, we haven't seen any map coming up. That's a very big problem. We will see how this is going to take place, but in terms of economy, British economy is not doing well at the moment, and it's going to have some negative impacts on the economy. This means Europe and British economy should be followed up very closely. Now, the bad news is not coming only from the European side, but also from the Asia. Now, more and more bad news are coming from Japan and China. Japan, the monthly factory output decreases by 3.7%. The Japanese exports fall by in January 8.4%. China has now decreasing, or all economic indicators are decreased. This is a very bad sign since Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's plan to increase the consumption tax in this year. It is going to affect his plan, or maybe he will abandon the plan. We need to closely monitor this because Japanese economy is coming down, including China, because of the US taxes and embargo. So this is going to affect also the global economy, which is not concerned for Turkey and like Turkey, all developing countries. Israel, last week I have made a video, especially for Prime Minister Netanyahu's the Attorney General will likely to issue an indictment against Prime Minister Netanyahu about bribes that he had taken previously. Now, although Prime Minister Netanyahu had all the support from the right-wing parties, or the coalition parties, this might impact his popularity before the people. And we had described that if this will happen, which we are expecting next week, it might happen. It will affect the election in April the 9th. And then we had analyzed, unless he will be in the office, who might be, and then it will be the left-wing party leader, Benny Gantz, might be the next prime minister, and he has a much more different idea how to manage the conflict between the Palestinians and the Arabs and even Iran. So we are going to close the monitor for you this in this month, in possibly it will take place next week, and what will happen in the Israel's policy. But as of now, Netanyahu's popularity is coming down, that's for sure. Now, the bad news is coming from also India about their economy. Now there's one more issue about this. In 2018 third quarter, the economy had grown like 8%. The third quarter 2018 7%, and the last quarter was 6.6%. Now also there is going to be an election, a general election in May in India. And you know that there is now a big conflict between Pakistan and India in the Kashmir region, that Pakistan had shot down the jets, and the pilot has now given back to India, but this event will only be utilized by the policy makers or politicians in India in order to increase the popularity of the government, because the economy is really doing not good. And since this is going to be the case, we are expecting that after the elections we are going to see some more negative economic performance in the Indian economy, which will definitely impact the developing countries and the global economy. So 2019 economically in the first quarter has not started well enough. That's for sure. Another development in the South Caucasus area is Armenia has made a deal with Iran and Qatar that will facilitate cooperation for the data transfer and for the telecommunication, regional telecommunication companies. It will create the internet ring. Internet will be much more faster. 4G, 5G, they will be implemented maybe. But Turkey has to closely monitor this, how it will affect the Armenian politics in future. Now, the last news is from the Korean and the American meeting in Hanoi. The first day was very nice. It was all okay. It's like, how was the trip? Did you come here? It was safe. How is the weather over there? These kind of things. But second day, it was more about the business and policy. Now, according to the information that we have read from the North Korean officials, North Korea has proposed the Americans that they are going to stop, or at least not permanently, but temporarily stop the nuclear test, while they want Americans to ease out of 11 sanctions, at least 5 sanctions to North Korea, which America has approached positively, but they demanded extra things also from the North Korea that kept the meeting very short, because North Korea said no. Without any kind of assurances from the American side, they will not follow, or they will not agree with their conditions. So they cut the meeting short, but however, it doesn't mean that necessarily these negotiations has ended very quickly. Both leaders have agreed that their teams will come up and they will discuss these disagreements and how to solve all these things. This means that this is going to take place in a longer term than expected, not in a couple of months. That's for sure. It will take place some maybe years. Now, how this is going to affect China and also North Korea, we will see in future, but America has the luxury to wait economically and militarily, while they are trying to withdraw from Afghanistan, from Syria, Iraq, all these things, and they are going to show all their interest in China. That's going to put China in a hard position, and China already acknowledges that. So we will try to more cover the news coming from the Chinese area or Asian area. For this week, this is all the news that I would like to share with you. I hope you enjoyed. Keep with us.